Hi, welcome to the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. Do you know what social moral incrementalism is? Well, apparently it's at work here in our country. As an illustration, I want to just kind of mention in passing the recent Oscar Awards show. That program was the least watched of any previous Oscar presentations. And people want to know why. I think it's in large part due to the fact that we no longer have stars. One of the movies that was rated in the high levels, not just as a movie, but some of the people in it and some of the things they did, is something called The Shape of Water. It's a curious tale about a woman who has sex with a fish man. It won Best Picture. Why? Well, come on, because it was the movie this year that pushed the moral envelope. So why are the ratings for the Oscars in steep decline? Probably because they're pushing the moral envelope. It is the vulgarity, the profane language, the in-your-face sexuality, and it's the politics that drives viewers away. When it was all about stars and movies, people watched for the pageantry. When it became about sex and sleaze, it was a little harder to justify. But our debauched culture soaked it up. And now it's about politics and overt gratuitous immorality. And it's no longer entertaining to the majority, apparently. Now, the movie industry has been in moral decline pretty much as long as I've been on the planet. In the 1960s, it was Peyton Place. Later, it was the pornographic movie about a woman sexually dominated by a man. I can't remember the title of it, but it was also a book. And now it's transgenderism. The people involved in this industry are constantly pushing the moral envelope. And it may be they've just gone a little too far. Did you see the top grossing movies in the last year? What's going on? Well, the same thing that's been going on ever since there were show folk on the planet. It used to be that people knew that show folk were immoral. Decent people didn't allow their children to be involved with them. What they did was called vaudeville or burlesque. It wasn't until talkies were invented and became the silver screen that these people entered the world of ordinary, decent people. And then they entered our living rooms through television. And now they are everywhere all the time. These people are exhibitionists. It's what they do. They use extreme vulgarity and profanity in ordinary ways. They act out in overtly sexual ways and push the moral and political envelope to its limit every chance they get. The recent sex scandals surrounding this industry are not new. Everyone who has ever been a part of it, anybody who's ever watched it from the outside or looked at its history, knew this stuff was going on. I knew it. In the 1950s, it was common knowledge. The women, and now men, who are expressing shock and outrage are either lying to us or they've been lying to themselves. The movie The Shape of Water combines the overt sexualization with a kind of transgenderism as a water creature of unknown origin is seduced by a female human being underwater. In a sane world, we'd call this animal abuse, having sex with an animal. And it would be disgusting if the audience wasn't prepared for it. As the storyline suggested, this creature was probably on his way to being a human being over time. We got this whole evolutionary thing floating through it. And if it weren't photographed so tenderly and so surreally, we got to ask yourself, what are your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren going to be willing to accept? I have great-grandchildren. I was just married about 20 minutes ago. Time has gone by so fast. And here are these little hearts and minds and souls that are going to be warped. What are their grandchildren going to be like? What are they going to be exposed to? Currently, the contemporary viewing public is showing their disdain. But we have to ask, will it matter?